Okay, well, good morning everybody, and welcome to this event on why simulation needs to consider variability. My name's Tim Morris. I'm here as a representative of the NAFEMS organisation. I'm very pleased to be chairing the event today. But I'd like to start by saying a big thank you, first of all, to NPL for co-organising the event and for allowing us to host it here at their excellent facilities. But also like to say a particular thank you to Louise Wright, sat here at the front, and Dietmar Voigt, sat here, who really have been the technical brains behind this event in terms of getting together the right speakers and putting together the right sort of event. I'll introduce them more formally when they come to speak. They're each going to be making presentations this morning, but just to say that both of them are very active within the NAFEMS community, both involved with different working groups, and like I say, I'd like to say a big thank you ahead of today for all your work here, ahead of this event in terms of helping to pull it together. Most of you, I think, will be reasonably familiar with NAFEMS as an organisation. You probably know that we're a not-for-profit association, and our aim is to promote the effective use of simulation. It's companies that become members of NAFEMS. We currently have just over 1,000 companies that are members of NAFEMS, and we're very focused on simulation, but across all different industry sectors. And this pie chart here shows a breakdown of the membership by industry sector. So what we'll see there is that aerospace and automotive are the largest, but still we've got strong representation from many other different industry sectors too. When we look at the people that are here today, again we're seeing quite a dominance of automotive and aerospace industry people, and I think that's because really they have taken the lead in terms of non-deterministic analysis, but also very pleased to see that representatives from other industry sectors here as well. So again, sort of representing, I think, the NAFEMS membership. A key part of the work of NAFEMS goes on through the different technical working groups that we have. They all operate on a voluntary basis, and they're each focused on different areas of simulation technology. The slide here shows the current list of working groups that we currently have. I think it's fair to say that when NAFEMS was set up back in the 1980s, all analysis pretty much was deterministic, and all of our original working groups were very much focused on deterministic analysis in different areas of technology. What we've seen going through the years is that there's been an increasing interest in non-deterministic analysis, and our first attempt at doing something relating to stochastics was back in 2001. We held a seminar over in Germany looking at just this topic. And back then, it was seen, I think, as being quite a niche area. It was a very interesting seminar. We had some good participation. But there weren't a huge number of industry case studies at that present time, because really it was just very much in its early days. And I'm hoping we'll see from the event today that things have moved on quite considerably from there. But equally, I think there is still a sales job to do, and that's part of the reason why I was choosing the title that we did. We think a lot more people should be taking account of non-deterministic analysis than currently is the case. And that's a large part of the remit of our stochastics working group. And that has been working on this area. It was set up back in 2007, and they as a group are now very actively promoting the use of stochastic analysis. So the group here, the vision statement for the group is to promote the adoption and further development of stochastics applications. It's a web-based group, so it's chaired by Mary Fortier, who's over in the States. The vice chairman is Alexander Karl, who splits his time between Germany and also being based over in the US. And then all the different members of the group are shown in the blue boxes at the bottom here. And what you'll see is that there's quite a large number of members of that group, and from many different industry areas, different companies represented there. And that really equates to the fact that we've got a lot of interest in stochastics within the NAFEMS community, people wanting to learn, people wanting to share their experiences and find out how they can do things better. In terms of the goals that this group has set themselves, there's really three key areas that they're working on. They want to develop technical excellence, work in the areas of education, and to help to develop publications. So in terms of technical excellence, their vision is that they will be looked upon as being the world leader in stochastic development and application. They're working hard on trying to promote some things to achieve that. And the other key areas, education and publications, are very much the core areas of NAFEMS. So within the education area, they've got the vision that they want to develop a complete and consistent set of educational documents in the area of stochastics for all levels within the organisation. So they're working with us as to how we can do that through developing training material, webinars, e-learning material, to promote the education in the use of stochastics. And of course that is behind our event here today as well. And finally, publications. A large part of the work of NAFEMS goes on in terms of developing our library of publications, where we try to encapsulate best practice and state-of-the-art reviews and to disseminate that information to a much wider audience. So the group is actively working on that and is about to release a publication on stochastics and its role in robust design. In terms of the next steps for the group, the topics they're discussing at the moment are what technical barriers exist for the further application of stochastics. Perhaps we'll come back to that during the course of today and discuss that here as a group. And also in terms of developing training. As I say, they're on with progressing their work on developing publications, but also the final point there, they are interested in extending their membership and getting together an even larger group of people who want to communicate and work in this area. So if you are interested in that, there's some email addresses there you can contact, or if you ask myself or Dietmar, we'd be very pleased to answer any questions you've got, so please do consider that. So, the agenda today, you've all seen a copy of this already. At this stage, I'd like to sort of apologise. There's a real sort of shame in that our keynote speaker, Jacek Marczek, is unable to be here today. He was travelling in this morning from Italy. I'm told he's had a small car accident on his way to the airport. He is okay, but he's waiting for a tow truck at the moment, and so unfortunately there's no way he's going to be able to be here and present today. That is a great shame. We do have his presentation material. We'll certainly make sure that we get a copy of that to you. And we're currently working on the possibility of perhaps being able to patch him in through some telephone conference call or web facility this afternoon. So we'll work on that. Maybe this afternoon we will be able to get him to join us remotely, but unfortunately he can't be here in person. So, like I say, apologies for that. Nevertheless, we do still have a good, strong agenda with a variety of different speakers. So the idea behind this timetable is that we're going to start out with some presentations which will set the scene for stochastics. We're then going to move on and look at some particular case studies, and then we're going to finish off the day by some future-looking presentations talking about new and upcoming technologies. There'll be plenty of time for discussion. If Jacek isn't able to join us remotely, then we're certainly going to have plenty of time during the course of today to discuss things in a more leisurely fashion. But I do hope you're going to find it a very useful and informative day, and you're going to get an awful lot out of it. The whole area of non-deterministic analysis, stochastic type analysis, is, like I say, very much a topical area within NAFEMS at the moment. And really we're seeing this particular event as being the first in a series of 3 interlinked events. So we've got an event on optimization which is taking place in March of next year, and we're currently putting together the agenda for that, and as we know, optimization methods and stochastics sort of go hand in hand in certain areas. But also, as a direct follow-on from this particular meeting, we're going to have a workshop which is going to take place in early July of next year. And the idea behind that is to have some interactive sessions with vendors and participating and demonstrating what facilities they have. But perhaps during the course of today, we might want to reflect on what you think would be useful for us to bring into that workshop. It is still in the planning stages, so you still have an opportunity to tell us what you would like in there. And talking about that, what I would ask you to do is you should have a feedback form in the pack that you received when you registered. Please do consider any comments you've got on today, on NAFEMS activities in general. Give us your feedback as to what we could do better. Like I say, in particular, do think what you might like to see at a future workshop next year. And finally, just like to say that the event today is being recorded, so we should be able to make available to you recordings of the presentations and the PowerPoints that are being presented, and they'll be available through the NPL website and through the NAFEMS website.